Hey guys, Cameron here with Emerson Property Management. Every week, I bring you tools, tactics, strategies, lessons I've learned, things that helped me build up a sizable rental portfolio in about 2 years, and now manage that portfolio, and hundreds of others for other individuals. Today, y'all, I want to talk about something that could save you thousands, maybe even tens of thousands of dollars in legal expenses. It's the age-old question: additional interest or additional insured? Before I get into that, if you guys like this stuff, you find it valuable, like, subscribe, share. It helps us out. If you don't, give us some feedback. Always appreciate good feedback, constructive criticism. Okay, y'all, let's talk about this. Additional interest, additional insured on my handy dandy whiteboard here. If you guys are doing self-management, probably going to skip this video, not pertinent to you, but if you're doing self-management with the intention of maybe someday hiring a property manager, this will be applicable. If you guys are currently working with a property manager, you probably have had this question come up, or have probably been asked this. If you haven't, and you're working with a third-party company, you should really, in my opinion, I should even back up. I am a property manager. I am not an attorney. I'm not an insurance agent. This is just my experience and what we do as best business practices here in Texas. So this is something I would recommend, though. If you guys are working with a third-party company, this is something I think that's very important from a legal standpoint. Okay, so what is additional interest and what is additionally insured? What does that mean? So first and foremost, additional interest is somebody that has financial interest in the property but doesn't have insurance coverage extended to them. One that always comes up is a mortgage. So a mortgage company has an interest in the property because they're loaning you money, but they don't have coverage. If they go out and send somebody the property and something happens liability-wise, they're not getting any coverage. They have their own insurance apparently and do various other things, I'm sure, to keep themselves out of trouble, but they just have an interest. So when you go renewals or any of the policy changes, that's why they have to be listed on the policy, because they have an interest, a financial interest in the policy. Additionally insured, and again, these are a Southern Ohioan's interpretation of these, so bear with me. Additionally insured means that the coverage is actually getting extended to that entity or thing. So additionally insured would be somebody like a spouse, a business partner, maybe, a property manager. They're actually getting extended the coverage. So the coverage, the insurance is extending over to them. It's somebody that you want to have as additionally insured. You want to insure them. They don't have an interest in the property, and that comes up from time to time as well, as owners think, well, because you're getting insurance or added on my insurance, well, then you now have a financial, tie or interest in my property. That is not true. Additionally insured is just extending the coverage. It doesn't give a property management company any sort of interest in your property. Okay, so additionally insured, additional interest. Now, having listened to those two definitions, which one do you guys think that a property management company would want? Or what you as an owner would want your property management company to have? Not the interest. We don't want to give our management company or a property manager any sort of interest in the property. We want the additionally insured. Now, you might ask yourself, why would I pay for my insurance when the property manager or my property management company should have their own insurance? Valid question. Comes up from time to time. The property management company, I'm going to speak for myself and our business and kind of industry standards, or at least anybody that's worth their weight in salt, their standards. So we have E&O insurance. So in Texas, you're required to be licensed. You have to be a licensed agent in the state of Texas to be able to manage third-party companies or third properties. So we're licensed. As a part of our licensing, we require, our Texas or your broker requires E&O insurance, or they should. I guess you don't have to. I don't know. It's like driving around without automobile insurance, but we keep errors and omissions, E&O insurance, as well as general liability. So this is just general liability policy. If something happens, you have liability. You guys as property owners, and me on my own rental properties, I have hazard insurance, right? If the house burns down, you have a hailstorm, things like that is hazard. And then typically you'll add on some sort of liability policy. And if you guys have several properties like I do, you get an umbrella policy that wraps everything up. You might get $1 million, a $2 million general liability policy, but that covers all that. So I guess the next question, you guys are asking the question of why we need it. So we as property management companies, like I mentioned, most of them have E&O and liability. But we don't have assets. As a management company, we are a third party. So we're just providing a service to you. And we might be on the property sometimes, maybe not. But if something does happen at the property and there is a claim, we have a tenant fall and break their leg, something like that, their attorney or their insurance company is going to come after us as the management company and you as the owner. So to prevent you, Mr. and Mrs. Owner, from eating two attorney bills or us having to do that and then filing multiple claims, it's a unified front. So the manager and the owner come together to fight the claim against the tenant, the attorney, insurance company, whoever it is, whoever had an issue at the property. Now, I will say first, or maybe another little caveat here is we require all of our contractors who go on the property to have liability policies. So if something does come up from a contractor standpoint, there's liability coverage. We also require the tenants to have insurance, a liability policy. So renter's insurance. So we're covered from all aspects, but the one piece that we want to make sure we're unified on is to make sure that if the tenant files a claim against the property, against the owner of the property of that LLC, that the management company and the owner have a unified field and front to fight. And our property management agreement, and I think most property management agreements would say that the owner is going to bear the legal expenses. We're working for you, but unless we're found specifically egregiously liable, the owner is going to be the one that bears the legal expenses. And you, as an owner, do not want to bear legal expenses of your own attorney and insurance company and our attorney and our insurance company. So unified front to make sure that we collectively resolve the issue with the tenant. That is the main reason why we require, and I believe most management companies that are legitimate would require the owner to get additionally insured. List the property manager as additionally insured. So it does kind of feel weird. It's like, well, why am I having my management company this? But if you look at us as, a partner in this, because we're handling almost everything at the property, we're trying to keep you out of court and reduce your liability, but things come up from time to time, right? So this is a way for us to keep that unified front, keep expenses low. I do know that we have had several owners who have added us as additionally insured, and their premium has actually gone down. Because from a risk perspective, if you are doing your own management, you're not up to date on all the Texas property code changes. You're not up to date with how to secure smoke detectors and security bars and what other safety devices need to be in the property. You're not really privy to some of the tenant screening. So the insurance company says, well, that's a higher risk. You're increasing the risk. So by hiring a professional property management company, you are actually reducing the risk that a tenant's going to get in there and tear everything up, that the tenant is going to have an incident because, the house burns down, there were no working smoke detectors. That with us is almost a zero chance because we have policies, procedures, and processes to make sure that we handle all that stuff. So that's a long-winded way, y'all, of saying, what should I do? Should I add my property manager as the additional interest or additionally insured? Don't give your property manager interest in your property by adding them as additional interest, but do add your property manager, or we require that our owners add us as additionally insured. Let's be a unified front, be a partner, might lower your premium and prevent unnecessary legal expenses on all sides and all fronts. Okay, y'all, I hope that was helpful. If it was, let me know. If it wasn't, let me know. I'll see y'all next week.